How you doing, people? Welcome back to another ESO video. Today is an update regarding an update, actually. Update 39 for the PTS. Now, it's week 1, so things could change, but there is a really helpful change to the Nightblade. The Nightblade has been renowned as one of the most difficult classes to play outside perhaps a Necromancer if you're trying to be really complicated. You're trying to micromanage loads and loads of bits and pieces, and mostly it's because of one skill. This particular skill trips people up all day long. Grim Focus. Now, you've got 2 different morphs to this. You've got Relentless Focus and you've got Merciless Resolve. Now, these have been slightly changed. So, Relentless Focus will give you up to 80 weapon and spell damage for every single stack that you have. We'll talk about the stacks in a moment. Whereas the other version still gives you weapon and spell damage if you maintain them, but it will give you a bigger heal. Because if you activate it, it gives you a heal. Now, how does this work? Basically, how it works, we'll go onto the back bar because that's where it is. You normally have to activate the skill for between 40 and 60 seconds, depending on the morph. And then every 1 light attack will give you 1 stack. So if you look at my bar, you'll see there's going to be a little symbol there. Ignore all that fireworky stuff. See the red one on my buff timers? It's got 1. Now if we do it again, we've got another one. And another, and another, and another. And then it glows. It glows to tell you it's ready, and you fire the bow. Here's the thing. Now, you don't have to activate the skill at all, except for when you want to fire it. You can build up the stacks and keep the bonuses, or you can fire it, consume them, and start again. On live, you activate the buff, fit as many of those inside your rotation as you can, fire when ready, and then when the buff runs out, you've got to recast the bloody thing, which makes you basically light attack, fire a buff. So you're not really putting any skills in. Because usually you'd light attack, fire a skill, do some damage. But instead, you have to light attack, fire a skill, don't do anything. It's a rebuff. Gone. It's completely gone now. No rebuff, no pre-buff, nothing. It stays with you all the time just for being on your bar. And here's the biggest thing. If I swap bars, I don't have it on my bar anymore, do I? Watch. On my buff timers, bottom left-hand side, 3 in. Red marker with a 1 on it. 2, 3, 4, 5, full stacks, and just to confirm it, if I swap bars to where the skill actually is, it's ready to fire. So if you put it on your front bar or your back bar, it will be with you throughout. Generally speaking, normally you would have to be on the bar you want it to be fired off of, obviously, to activate it, and then you can build up stacks on the back. You could do that. But again, because there's no activation required, you no longer have to do that at all. And the benefit that you keep for the 5 stacks, again, stays with you on both bars. Doesn't matter. And this has always been a thing anyway, but it's in a tooltip. Lots of people didn't understand that it took 5 light attacks, which is normal, and not 5 heavy attacks. People assume that you have to heavy attack 5 times or light attack 5 times. No. Heavy attacks give you 2 stacks. So, if I was to heavy attack at the moment, let's get rid of the bow. If I was to heavy attack, 2 stacks. Heavy again, 2 stacks, and then weave in a light attack for the last one. So, you can do 5 lights, or 3 lights, 1 heavy, 2 heavies, 1 light, up to you. Either way, it's very easy to build up now. So, this is what it looks like if it was on your front bar, for argument's sake. Again, all the benefits stay with you no matter which bar you're on. So it's really helpful. We'll dump that and just put something else there. This here. It's blank. When it's ready, it will show you that you can use it. Light attack, light attack. It would help if I actually fired one. And there we go. It's ready. Doesn't matter which target you fire it at, but all you have to do is light attack or heavy attack. And when it glows, you're good. No complicated rebuff, track all the timers and all that mess. Just hit it when it's glowing and you're done. Or keep it. And again, this will carry over to your back bar so you can still do it there. And there's one more major bonus that people have not kind of anticipated. And that is this. If you go to wrong one, Shadow, you unlock Shadowy Cloak. Shadow Cloak. You've got 2 different morphs. Shadowy Disguise and you've got Dark Cloak. These are slightly different to what they used to be. So first of all, one of them is an invisibility spell, and the other one is a heal. Quite simple. But while they're on your bar, while slotted on either bar, This one will give you minor protection. So you can put it on the front, swap to the back, still keep it. Or put it on the back, swap to the front, still keep it. So technically on a DPS, in PvE, if you didn't want to use the invisibility morph, and you weren't actually going to press this, you could just slot it on your back bar and constantly get minor protection for nothing. Emergency heal if you really want to, but it scales off of health anyway. This one, slightly different. If this is on your front bar or your back bar, you get major prophecy and major savagery all the time. So again, you could utilize the invisibility skill in PvE scenarios, even in combat, if you weren't using maybe spell pots or mage's guild or whatever. If you weren't using any of those and you were missing major prophecy and major savagery, you could hide this on your back bar and still use it. Very, very handy stuff. Now, of course, people would argue, oh, what about one-bar builds and all that kind of stuff when it comes to one bar and things? Or just put it on the back or the front. Technically speaking, most of the buffs and bonuses you'll get from these types of skills are on there anyway. But any that aren't, if any skills are set to allow you to put them onto one bar, there is a bug at the moment on PTS, and I'm pretty sure they're going to alter it. Now, the bug itself is technically not a bug. It's more of an oversight, because the one-bar ring, the Oakensol ring, doesn't make you a one-bar build, technically. What it technically does is locks your bar. You just chose to do that, and you chose the bar you wanted. You can still access it by putting skills on it. No, you can't swap, but you can still put them there in here. What I mean by that is I'll demonstrate, actually. So if I put Oakensol on, I can no longer swap bars. But I can go into my skills, and I can swap bars here and put stuff on the back if I really wanted to. Again, this is a slight oversight. So what people have done is they've done this. They have gone onto the ring, taken it off. They've gone onto the back bar so that the game recognizes that buff and bonus. If I swap bars, it stays with me. You can see the axe on my bar. It stays with me. Okay? So now that it stays with me, I simply reslot the ring and I keep it. Bit naughty, but that is something that people are doing on PTS at the moment. I would assume in the near future that that would be slightly altered, seeing as we're in the first week already. The reason it does that is because to be able to recognize that you can use it on both bars, it first has to be able to spot it. If you're on the bar that it's on, it's like, hey, we know you've got that skill. Okay, carry on. Because the Oakensol ring doesn't really do anything to that, it simply locks the bar. That is a bit tricky. What they could do, however, is simply disable the back bar, much like you do sub level 15. So if they introduce that mechanic where you don't have a bar until 15, they could make it so that the Oakensol ring basically disables that bar while you're doing it. Rather than just locking your bars, they should disable it. If they did that, that would be a fix. But anyway, Zos, hopefully you're listening. Let's go back to the important stuff. Double bar, no longer a thing for buffs and bonuses like that. And also, things that carry over make a huge difference because of the Arcanist. The Arcanist introduced one skill that gave you major brutality and sorcery regardless of the bar it's on. That new technology that they introduced with all the new hardware and software that they introduced to the game as well, that made a big difference. So now we're going to see more stuff like that. Whether we see it for pets or not for the Sork is another thing, because remember, that's hard to balance, because Necromancer pets are fire and forget. So there's not really any gain or loss for double barring or whatever, unless you wanted to track it while you're on different bars and time stuff. You can double bar blast bones and then weave that in, but that's a choice. When it comes to the Sorcerer pets, they're double barred because they're constantly free DPS, even if you don't fire them. So if they took that away, technically speaking, you get 2 more skills. And let's face it, if you can crack 120k on a Sorcerer already, imagine what you could do with 2 more skills. That would be broken. But again, that remains to be seen. I can't speak for Zos, but I think we're going to see some more stuff for other classes, if not weapon skill lines, with this kind of technology involved. Grim Focus never needs to be activated, and your cloak, regardless of the morph, gives you a bonus both bars. Fantastic. Awesome addition, and this makes things so much easier for both types of players. Let's say 3 types of players. We'll go for the intermediate. We know you're there. But really inexperienced players no longer have an issue keeping that buff up. And really experienced players now have tiny bit more DPS technically, because they don't have to have those blank moments where they're just rebuffing. They can actually just wail in and smash skills because it's 100% there without effort. Anyway, thank you for watching. Hugely appreciate support. If you're not subscribing already, obviously hit that button. It's free. It helps support the channel. It helps the channel grow, and more people get to see this stuff. And of course, if you want to help support outside the channel, there are some links in the info section for Patreon, Twitter, Facebook, the website zonogaming.com, Threads, Twitch, and that's it, I think. There's loads of stuff. Put Xynode in Google. You'll find me. Thank you for watching. See you next time. Bye-bye.